What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my review, my predictions for UFC Fight Night Rockhold versus Bisping. Start from the bottom. We got Vic Teixeira versus Marcus Brimage. Teixeira is from China, and I feel like most Chinese fighters aren't that well rounded. I think Marcus Brimage has got the edge on him wrestling and striking wise, and I think especially wrestling, I think Marcus Brimage can get this win easy, as long as he doesn't. Marcus Brimage has kind of fallen into the style where he likes to strike, but as long as he uses his wrestling, he should win this fight easy. He's got a huge wrestling advantage going into this fight, in my opinion. So I got Marcus Brimage. I think as long as he fights smart, he'll win. I mean, he could win by first round TKO if he wants, I think. Next we got Luke Zachridge versus Daniel Kelly. Daniel Kelly's a young up-and-comer. I think he's undefeated, 7-0, 8-0. And Luke Zachridge is kind of like the older vet, and I think Luke is going to win this fight. I think he's got the experiences, and this is his third or fourth fight in the UFC already, and he's got a lot of fights under his belt, and I just think he'll be able to, use his experience to get the win. I got Luke Zachridge winning by decision. Next we got Richie Valak versus Louis Smolka, and you gotta pick the guys from Hawaii. Always pick the guys from Hawaii. I think Louis Smolka is just better. I think, he lost that fight to Chris Carriazo, but I think he's gonna grow from that fight more than he's gonna regress. So I think he's gonna just, in that fight I just felt he wasn't mixing things together well, and I think that's the main thing. As long as he worked on that, he should be fine. So I've got Louis Smolka winning this fight. Next, Vic Grich versus Chris Clements. I think Vic's got a huge advantage grappling wise, and I mean Chris Clements has no real grappling, in my opinion. I feel like if Vic wants to win this fight, he's just got to take him down. I think Vic's the much better grappler. I think striking wise, it could go either way, but as long as Vic uses his jiu-jitsu, he'll win. So I got Vic by submission. Next is Dylan Andrews versus Sam Alvey, and I think this fight is going to be a lot like the Tom Watson fight. I think Dylan Andrews is going to just be a little bit better than Sam. I think Sam might catch him like he did with Tom Watson and do some damage here and there, but I think Dylan Andrews is going to win the decision. I think it'll be a good fight though. Might be fight of the night, but I got Andrews winning by decision. Next is Anthony Perosh versus Guton Innocent, and I got Perosh. I think Perosh is the better striker. I think that this is Guton's first fight at light heavyweight. He's dropping down from heavyweight, and I think Perosh, he's shown really good boxing over his last couple of fights. His boxing is definitely getting much better. I think Perosh, he showed his toughness in his last fight, and Guton showed that his chin is vulnerable. So I got Perosh winning by knockout. Next is Jake Matthews versus Wagner Hocha, and I think Jake Matthews is one of the better looking up-and-comers right now, and Wagner Hocha, Wagner Hocha is a really good jiu-jitsu guy, but I don't think he'll be able to take this fight to the ground. I think Jake Matthews is going to win by knockout. Next is Soa Palele versus Walt Harris, and I think Soa Palele is, they're the same fighter. I just think Soa Palele is better everywhere. I think Soa Palele has beaten better people, and they both have the same problem. They both gas, but like I said, I think Soa Palele just does everything Walt Harris does, but better. So I got Soa Palele winning by knockout. Next is Robert Whitaker versus Clint Hester, and Clint Hester, he's shown in his last, all of his fights pretty much, he has no grappling. I think he lost his last fight. I didn't think he won it. I think the other guy won it. But I think in this fight Robert Whitaker will be able to get the takedown and submit him. So I got Whitaker by submission. Next, Ross Pearson versus Ally Quinta. To me these guys are very similar, but Ross Pearson I think is in his prime. I think he's doing everything pretty much as perfectly as he can, his style wise, and I think Ally Quinta is just still kind of getting into his groove kinda, and I just feel like if this fight had happened like a year or two ago, it might have been closer, but I think right now Ross Pearson's in the prime of his career, so I got Ross Pearson winning by decision or TKO. Main event: Luke Rockhold versus Michael Bisping. You know, I just Michael Bisping I don't think is very good. I think, you know, he's never really beaten any top 10 guys. His last fight was against Kung Lee, and I felt like they're just feeding him. You know what I mean? Like all of his fights, his last 3 or 4 wins have just been them feeding him. You know, he's never been a top 10 guy. And Luke Rockhold, his last 2 wins were against guys who are in the top 10. And, you know, Luke Rockhold's also beaten Jacare and Tim Kennedy, and Tim Kennedy beat Michael Bisping, so I think Luke Rockhold wins this fight however the hell he wants, so I got Luke Rockhold winning the main event. Alright, thanks for watching, you guys. Please like and subscribe.